I'm doing a load of laundry right now, but I'm using these little see-through packets instead of liquid detergent. I don't know how they work, but good God, I hope it does work. Lest I kidnap a lemur or something. Anyway, good news. The 4.7 trailer live stream happens, and in it, we are finally getting our long-awaited Dainsleif quest. This is legitimately the longest time gap between Dain quests. I mean, it was either this patch or we were dragging this son of a bitch to the beach with us, so it's nice. I'll go over the animation tomorrow, but for now, we have plenty to talk about with regards to the actual quest itself and the little Natlan teaser we got towards the end showing these are not dragons. Anyway, I'm not going to go over the whole trailer. The clorinde and sigewinne stuff looks pretty self-explanatory, so I'll start right here.
In the new world, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun. At last, they no longer needed to dwell on their suffering or try to differentiate between various thoughts of blasphemy. Such was the price they paid, and thus their souls became cleansed and pure.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I have no idea who this is. This sounds like no one we've heard before. I've seen people say Kari Bearer the Sinner. I'm just not hearing it, bro. Kari Bearer sounds, more squeamish than this.
Papa, I can't take it.
In the new world, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun.
And the voice sounds a bit too dynamic to be the Sinner. Plus, it's lacking the echo of the Sinner.
Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For I am no god. I am but a sinner.
I suppose it could be a grown-up Kari Bear, but that raises a lot of questions. When last we saw Kari Bear, he was still a hilichurl who had just taken his mask off. Well, yes, this was a little under 500 years ago. He's a hilichurl. Do hilichurls have a larynx that can get thicker as they grow older? Now, the words of this enigmatic entity are interesting. In the new worlds, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun. Sounds like it could be an Eclipse Dynasty reference from whoever this is, Shrouded Sun, Dark Sun, which is odd, seeing as how for the Conrians, they weren't just bidding farewell to the Eclipse Dynasty, but to all of Conria itself. Who they are, well, if we listen to the fucking camera shot, suggests hilichurls. And one thing I do want to say about these hilichurls in specific is that the location they're in is the same paradise or whatever that Aether and Lumine meet in. And the man's words do indeed suggest it could be them, given he says they no longer needed to dwell on their suffering or differentiates between thoughts of blasphemy. When one becomes a hilichurl, they lose their mind completely. They don't need to dwell on any thoughts, and as such, they just run on instincts. Now, him saying their souls became cleansed and pure honestly makes it sound like it's from someone who views the curse of the wilderness in a positive manner. So listen again to the whole thing with this new frame on it.
In the new world, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun. At last, they no longer needed to dwell on their suffering or try to differentiate between various thoughts of blasphemy. Such was the price they paid, and thus their souls became cleansed and pure.
The at last, after saying they said goodbye to the shrouded sun, if this is indeed talking about Conria, really makes it sound as if the Eclipse Dynasty was somewhat of a hindrance to the people in some way.
The way he's holding his sword, he must be a real Marachose hunter.
Yeah, fuck off. That's bait. That's bait. Actually, the last time I said something was bait in a trailer, I was wrong, but given Dain's about as anti-fucking social as they come, I just think they merged the two shots to, drama.
You used it yourself, didn't you? That's why you have a human appearance.
I didn't say I'd talk much about sigewinne and clorinde, but I mean, here we are. It sounds like sigewinne may have done something to alter her appearance, from total melazine to mostly human with some melazine features, which I mean, for better or for worse, is a much different explanation than, some horny guy just fucked the melazine. But hey, the heart wants what the heart wants. Who am I to get in the way of that? But also, we get furina staring intently at a rusty sword. I can't imagine we'd get like a significant amount of furina or Focalor's lore in this patch, seeing as she doesn't have a story quest. But given she has no memories from before 500 years, it could be that picking up this sword for whatever reason made her recall something from the depths of her mind. But, that's probably wishful thinking on my part. I wouldn't mind another deadpan delivery Focalor's appearance, however, even if it's just for a moment.
That's quite the gamble. But I believe that I am the one walking into a trap.
One day, I shall have my vengeance.
Ah, now this is a scene. First off, I mean, run from it, dread it. Lumine is the canon of his sibling. It's just, it doesn't matter what they said 2 years ago. It's just, when was the last time we saw a cutscene and it showed Lumine instead of Aether? Anyway, before I talk about what was just said, this shot showcasing Aether in Paradise, I guess we'll just start calling this place, I did want to point out, is the same place from this shot showing the twins in Dain. What this area is, I couldn't tell you, but if this is in the depths of the abyss, I might have to, no, I'd never switch teams, just test my loyalty, just test my loyalty. Now, as for what's going on in the scene, Lumine just says she's walking into a trap, and then just walks into it sword in hand. I'd tip the fuck out that one, nigga. Dain also clutches his fists prior to this, so barring any kind of fuckery on Hoyo's parts, we could be in for the fight of the century in 4.7 between the Abyss sibling and Dainsleif. Now, with that said, he better tell us who the fucking sinner is. Don't give me this, we waited a year, don't tell me it's gonna be Dain's like, oh, the sinner is, and then the twin just spawns in. Not so fast there, buckaroo, and just chops his head off, and then Dain's just there like, oh, I'm hurt, I need a year to recover. No, that would be a most unfortunate sequence of events. No, we gotta start moving this shit along, dogs. Finally, the scene ends with Dain stating he will have his vengeance. Now, if you're wondering for who does Dain want vengeance against? Let's look back at his intro card. Quote, "The future must atone for bygone mistakes, as the bond familiar falters and breaks of the same blood elders and the youth. Such is the cycle of the world. In truth, Dain, what is that strand of blonde hair to you? Someone you must kill, or the object of your penitence?" I mean, it seems like the bond between Dain and the sibling, if we can even call this shit a bond. I mean, these motherfuckers are 6 feet apart, bro. They're quarantining.
That way, Captain Dainsleif could accomplish his own goal. The loom of fate has already been completed.
Traveler, let me ask you this. Do you believe your sibling to have betrayed you?
Now, the final shots of the trailer showcase a number of different things. Someone refers to Dain as Captain Dainsleif, which means this must be someone from Conria. Who they are is unknown, but then they say something ominous. They say the loom of fate has already been completed. Now, if you're going, refresh my memory, what's the loom of fate, Dawit? We don't know. Bro, they brought this shit up in the first version of the game. We still don't know what this shit is. All we know is like the first part involved turning Osile into a mecha god, and that the only other time it was mentioned was Clothar telling us Caribera will become the loom of fate.
Born into abject sorrow, he shall now become the loom of fate.
The next scene shows Aether reuniting with Lumine in the Paradise from earlier, and we just barely managed to see something disappear from Lumine's hands. I cannot tell for the life of me what that is. Finally, Dain sends us off on a banger by asking if we believe our sibling to have betrayed us. So which, yeah, you know, it depends on how you define betrayed, I suppose, but all's fair in love and war. Dain just... Dain, this nigga might just be tight. He couldn't get none. I mean, this bitch was 9 feet apart at all times. Like, he was a fucking threat to society. I'd fucking feel betrayed, too. Acting like this nigga got fucking Ebola or some shit. I mean, I just peeped. There's a lot to do next patch, huh? I mean, there's a theater, and then there's 2 story quests, and then there's the Dain quest. There's a lot to go over. Anyway, as for the Natlan teaser, it starts off by showing us the 6 saurian symbols, which also represents the 6 tribes of Natlan, each saurian for a different tribe. It looks like we'll just be able to turn into the different saurians for transports, but one thing that's caught my eye was this shot here showcasing the graffiti. This is actually pretty dope. And this Natlan looks really hilly, you know, a lot of hills. At least there's a volcano. Natlan looks a lot less war-torn than I'd imagine, but this could just be the good parts of not.